So in the Bible, it says that New Jerusalem would be around 1,400 square miles cubed. And the round earth, the ball, the Baal, like the false idol Baal, is a lie. NASA is full of snakes. So this New Jerusalem is going to be about 1,400 square miles cubed. Okay, it's just going to be in the very center, New Jerusalem, and then all of the other land is going to be around it. And so the enemy took this idea and applied it to Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi, whatever, Dubai, the rich elite with the oil, and they're making this supposed city. They're planning it, this line with a mirrored city, which is a mockery of the Lord's New Jerusalem.
This year, the Saudi prince unveiled new details along with a montage of visuals revealing different aspects of this future city. According to the announcement, the line is a 1,640 feet high, 656 feet wide structure that will stretch across 100 miles in a remote stretch of desert and mountain terrain. This long skyscraper structure will be higher than most of the world's existing towers and have a gigantic, elegant mirror glass facade.
So I'm going to pause it right here because the Lord physically spoke to me and talked to me about all those people trying to make these towers of Babel or planning towers of Babel like this one. He said, any wicked man who should try to move another mountain is dumb, creating towers of Babel around the world. And he said, making a mountain out of a molehill is a war that will never be won. God sees this wicked generation as a molehill which will be leveled and overthrown. And he said, all those who are wicked are the ones who deny my son Jesus. Self-explanatory. He also said, for all those who pick up arms, they'll die by the gun. Those who should try to keep their lives shall lose it. And then 5, all things that God does, he does for his pleasure, but some of it's not fun. He doesn't enjoy chastising his children with punishment who go against what he says. And he said, Jesus and I have begun to sow reparations for the wickedness which has been sown.
Housed within it is the unconventional utopian smart city. It will be home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. The line will run entirely on renewable energy with the aid of artificial intelligence.
So they talk about artificial intelligence and Prince. I wonder where this Prince is getting their information from. Kind of sounds slightly Antichrist, don't you think?
Heaven is called the land of the living by David in Psalm 27, verse 13. Jesus calls the New Jerusalem my Father's house in John chapter 14, and he promises each believer in Jesus Christ a dwelling place there. Will there be enough room? Well, mathematicians have taken the dimensions and brought them into the English system and said that cube that is described as the New Jerusalem is 1,400 miles in every direction. And in that means that the square mileage in there is 1.9 million square miles. To give you an idea, Los Angeles is only 507 square miles. Plenty of room. One Bible source says this: if you kept it all on the ground level alone and gave each person 100 square feet, you could fit 39 billion people in the New Jerusalem on the new earth. And yet we're not limited there. That's the headquarters. There will be other kingdoms there all through the new earth. We'll celebrate. There'll be plenty of room.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to come down from space like some spaceship, okay? There's Earth, and then there's the heavens. The heavens is surrounded, we're surrounded by the firmament, which is like a dry oxygen ice wall, which is blue, okay? And then there's God's waters around it. Literally, we are the center of God's creation. So if you're skeptical, I'm going to make a post about this and do your research yourself, but I'm going to throw a few facts at you. NASA took a photo at 100,000 feet with a curve, but someone else put their own actual space balloon out there at the same height, and it was all flat. They didn't have a curved camera, okay? Convergence, a lot of people don't know that your eye can only see a few miles out, okay? They have radar, which travels straight line. It goes straight. It should go over the hump, okay, and then go straight out into space, but they can see ships for miles and miles upon it. So either they're lying about the 8 inches per mile per squared curve of the Earth, or it's flat, okay? So supposedly they landed on the Sea of Tranquility on the moon, okay? The moon faces one side towards the Earth is what they tell us, okay? It rotates around the Earth. There's no dark side of the moon, okay? But if one side of the Earth was always facing the one side of the moon, they would always have to point their cameras straight up Okay, so this blue marble photo is photoshopped, okay? You can't have a 90-degree angle, okay? So if you were on the moon, you had to point your camera up, but they were pointing their camera sideways and the Earth was some other way. That is completely impossible. So this blue marble of taking a photo from the side of the moon with the Earth out there and seeing both at the same time is fake. They literally have to be facing their photo camera upwards in order to take one photo of the Earth without the moon in it. So that debunks the Sea of Tranquility, the blue marble photo from NASA. NASA is full of snakes. They're all in on it, okay? You had the Space Challenger. It exploded in the sky, and supposedly, the teacher died. But every single one of them now, they say, has a twin, okay? And their twin didn't go and attend their funeral. Okay, so it was all fake. All their photoshops, all their pictures, all different. Warner von Braun, like Warner Disney, okay, they actually knew about supposedly the shape of the Earth before they went up into space to look at it, and they literally used composite images to make pictures of the Earth. And all the flight paths from south of the equator go north and then south. It only makes sense on a flat Earth, which actually makes a straight line instead of this extra. And the flat earthers don't believe in a pancake floating in space, okay? We don't believe in space, period. There's an ice wall, okay, with a round firmament around Earth, and literally God's water is surrounding all of it. We are God's creation, the only creation. Every supposed fact they give us about space, they keep changing it to suit their narrative, okay? The picture with the space, there should be stars out there, but you don't see any stars. It's like it was literally in a studio. So New Jerusalem, after the new earth, the millennial reign of thousands of years with the renewed earth, clean, pristine, Christ fixes everything, it's going to be placed in the very center of the new creation, okay, New Jerusalem, and then everything else is going to be around it, all right? And there's not going to be oceans, is what the Bible says, but there's going to be all this huge land, possibly infinite plain that people can live on, and then those who are with Christ will never leave the city. They'll be reigning and ruling with Christ and God in the very center, and everyone else who lives a lie will be outside of the city, is what the Bible says. But I digress. If you're skeptical, go and see my community post, which has a whole bunch of documentaries which feature it in biblical quotes proving the FE. So here's more information about New Jerusalem after the new earth with millennial reign.
The angel measures the city, its gates, and its wall, revealing that it is a cube of 12,000 stadia in length, width, and height. A stadia is about 600 feet long, so each dimension of the city is about 1,400 miles long, roughly half the distance from New York to Los Angeles. The height is the most mind-boggling aspect of these dimensions. It's a multi-story city that rises, and it's only the capital of God's new creation. This city's wall will be 144 cubits thick, or about 72 yards thick.